Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Sana Akbar, student of BEd Honors from Sargodha University. The topic assigned to me on which I have to present is summarized and recent research papers on method of teaching of Islamic studies. The first research paper is innovative teaching in Islamic studies using PowerPoint. To teach such type of subject based on technology in the modern way, it is very rare, it is often neglected, still very hard practiced and followed. But the teaching of Islamic studies by using PowerPoint and by using slides has been proved very effective and successful in educational process of academies of Islamic study at University of Malaysia. To survey the motivation of using PowerPoint, an interview was conducted and almost every student showed positive response. Every student from several backgrounds even agree and they support the idea of using this application. There also have been very controversial opinions on this issue of Islamic perspective that if the technological products Islamic perspective that whether teaching Islamic studies by using technology it is good, it is allowed in Islamic Sharia or not. So many of the ulama said that if the technological products are being used to promote the goodness and forbid the badness and leads to a good objective, it is viewed as an acceptable means. But the effectiveness of PowerPoint depends on its proper use, and the main objective is used to students' innovative thinking and self-learning through different modes and methods of education. Next paper is using multimedia and teaching Islamic studies. This research paper shows the importance of using multimedia and its effectiveness in the teaching of Islamic studies. As the first Quranic verse, word of Quranic verse is Iqra, which means to read. Islam has always given importance to the knowledge and education because it is very first and starting point of human development. Education is a light that shows the mankind to right direction. As today's knowledge is known as digital generation, and they can spend even hours and hours in front of computers to play games and to listen to music, to watch movies and even do something creative. So they can spend hours and hours, and they are known as digital generation. So if we teach the young generation by using multimedia, it will prove very effective. It will prove fascinating for them. If the teacher add graphics, some audio, some video clips related to the topic, students will definitely love it. They will listen to the lecture more effectively and more attentively. If the teacher applies the soothing background music on slides or during period, students give the fullest attention to the classroom. The review about this question was also very positive, and it makes students more effective and it open up their mind. As course evaluation was based on students' comments, so out of 176 students, 43.8% agreed and 48% strongly agreed with this new learning teaching style, as they found it very interesting and effective. Researchers have found that students' negative mindset towards a subject can be changed by the use of mixed multimedia tools, and a plain subject can be changed into a thrilling and interesting subject. Teaching Islamic studies in higher learning institutions for non-Arabic speakers. The objective of this article is to study various teaching techniques applied with lecture of Islamic studies to teach non-Arabic speaking students. According to the discipline of Al-Natli knowledge, the medium to teach Islamic studies should be Arabic. So, some rules are recommended for every field of Islamic studies to make the teaching and learning process effective. For the field of education, for the field of memorization and Quran recitation, the methods recommended were tikrar, Talaqqi, Musafaha, Hafzan and Tasmi. For the field of Ibadah, the methods suggested were discussion, cooperative learning and brainstorming. For Aqidah, the techniques to be followed were discussion, brainstorming and teaching with computer. Now the techniques followed to teach Islamic studies were question answer technique, like in which after the delivery of lecture, after delivering lecture, after 20 to 30 minutes of lecture delivering, teacher asks students question to ensure that whether they understand the lecture or not. When teacher plan questions and then ask students, it will help students to increase their thinking ability. It will sharpen their minds. Second technique is the role play technique, in which one teacher explains some situation and the students don't understand it. So if any of the students who understand it, the teacher asks him or her to dramatize it and to perform it in the front of the students. So by acting the situation and by using different learning styles and language styles, students, it proves fascinating, it proves interesting, and the students find it interesting, and they also then understand the situation. Next comes the discussion technique, in which discussion technique, which is active role, in which active role is in discussion is allowed to students, and then they discuss, small groups are made and they discuss a topic, and then they share their thoughtful and mature views. Next is drilling technique, in which is discussed above and is used and is used in the memorization and recitation of Quran. The students were asked to read Quran repetitively and memorize it easily. Last is brainstorming, in which certain ideas about the topic were made, and students, along with presenting their thoughts, also learn to accept the views of others, which were and their perspective. In brainstorming, positive thinking and active participation of students is promoted. Teaching of Islamic studies, teacher must clear some instructions from the very first that assignments not submitted within due date will not be accepted later. If the correct format is not followed, marks will definitely be rejected. If the file should be in the Word document format, and the font size and the font writing size should be Times New Roman, and the font size should be 12, and the color should be black or even white. Assignments will not be accepted if students will send it through email. Plagiarize assignments, like googling the topic and just copy pasting it, they will never be accepted, and students should try to write it in their own words, and 0 marks will be assigned if the file is problematic. Lesson should be planned according to the time duration, that what is the time duration, and teacher must know that this is the time and she has to complete the lecture in this duration. To which class he is teaching, whether it is primary, secondary, or higher education, which subject he or she is teaching, the topic which she will teach tomorrow. Teacher must aware of it, and the general objectives of lesson, instructional objectives, the resources to be used during teacher must ensure that these resources are available. And to ensure effective learning, classroom strategies will be different activities that you planned, and assessment of students' learning and procedures to be followed. Introduction. First of all, teacher do Islam, and teacher must ask students about their health and just do something to seek their attention. And teaching procedures like methods to use in classroom, students' participation, make sure that the students are participating and they're not involved in another activity. Formative checking students understand their during classroom, summarizing or closure in which you end the lesson. Next come the teaching methods, principles, advantages and disadvantages. Teaching method is to enable student learning. The principles and methods used by teachers is known as teaching method. The management strategies, principles and pedagogy used for classroom instruction is called as teaching method. The choice for teaching depends on what fits on a teacher. That it's all yours. That what teaching method would you like to develop, and his educational approach, his social school mission statements, class demographic, and subject areas. Effective teaching methods hardly seems a mystery, and most much researchers bears out the common sense principles, and many of us saw a better teachers practice to solve the problem. We need to take these principles seriously. Some principles of the teaching method is that it should encourage contact between the students and faculty. It develops the cooperation and reciprocity among students. Encourages active learning. It should give prompt feedback. It emphasizes time on task, communicates high expectations, respect diverse talents and way of learning. Some advantages and disadvantages of teaching methods is the lecture method, in which its advantages is cheap and cheap to convey to a large audience, and it's very efficient. In this method, students play passive role and teacher play active role, as it is one-way speaker communication with no students' participation. Next comes internet-based teaching, in which it is accessible, its content can be generated regularly, and it's very convenient. Disadvantages: it needs computing skills. Portfolio building method, it is student and centered. The learning reflection of knowledge, attitudes and beliefs. It includes greater learner's responsibility, and it fosters self-assessment skills. It is work intensive. And next comes tutorial teaching method. It promotes adult learning, encourages them to solve problems, incorporate the conceptual method. It promotes social intellectual experience and develop oral presentation skills. It affects the development of attitudes and values. Its disadvantages that is labor intensive. Thank you.